everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with your final late night hot take. Oh boy, Joan, I spent all day gaming, and Little Joan spent all day being a dog. Right, Little Joan? Yeah, it was a good day, fun day, and but now it's time to go to bed, so I got to put this one away. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. A few days back, I told you I deleted my old live streams because they were messing with the algorithm that appears to have worked. I seem to have steady increases again, so maybe that was a thing. I'm not sure. But regardless, I'm sorry, Little Joan, you want some attention. Regardless, if you could please spread the word about my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, on BitChute and Rumble now. Which I try to update on a pretty regular basis. Sometimes they don't update as quick, but for the most part, we update. Right, Little Joan? Right, Little Joan? Okay, let's get into it. There's only one thing people are talking about, and that's January 6th. So, how's it looking? Well, Facebook deletes 1.7 million member group. Joe Biden is not my president. So, that's how it's going on the internet. As per usual, Silicon Valley cannot take any criticism of their candidate. It's bizarre to me that they would bother to do this. This is the exact thing they should not do. Because what's this going to do? Well, it's going to cause 1.7 million people to go, why am I on Facebook? Why do I go to this stupid site? Maybe there's another site where I could go, like the Donald.win or I don't know, Minds.com. You can make a site like this on Minds. It's not going to be deleted, not now anyway. So all Facebook's doing is hurting itself, really. You know, it's selling out part of its credibility just to prop up Biden. And we can expect that a lot if Biden does finally get fixed in. But will that happen? I don't know. Meanwhile, the Georgia runoff, Democrat Raphael Warnock, America needs to repent for supporting Trump and its worship of whiteness. Yeah, he sounds like a credible, insane candidate. Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, a Republican, ignores evidence of the most secure election we've ever had, according to YouTube, and will join Democrats during January 6th electoral fight. So thanks a lot, Pat. If I were you, people of Pennsylvania, I would primary the F out of Toomey and get rid of him. Because why is he there? Why is he there? He doesn't support Republicans. He's a Democrat. This is the behavior of a Democrat. And in Pennsylvania, no less. In Pennsylvania, where it was even honk, honk, wink, wink, even more secure than ever. Lindsey Graham breaks with Mitch McConnell. $2,000 checks for struggling families is not socialism. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of either one of these guys, especially Lindsey, but he's got a point. You know, Mitch got his house vandalized over the checks, and you know, he's just playing politics. That's all he's doing. He's just pushing it back. What he should be doing is supporting Trump, who got him reelected in a very close race, I'll add. But he's not. He you know, he thinks, oh, we're done with Trump. Haha, we can move on. And thanks a lot, Trump. See ya on your way. And maybe that's the case. But I don't think the Trump fans are going away there, Mitch. 74 million people or so. Maybe more. Maybe more. But the good news is GOP senators led by Cruz to object to the Electoral College certification and demand an emergency audit. Will this work? I have no idea. But I'm sure as hell glad they're doing it. I sure as hell want to see it work. You know, it's Cruz, I think a total of 10 senators, plus Josh Hawley, plus 140 members of the House or so. So it should be a good chunk of people. Not like two people standing up, but a good chunk of the Congress. That's about, He got a fifth of the Senate, a little over a fifth of the Senate, and about a fourth of the House. So that's something. It's not nothing. Revolutions have been started with less. But Mitt Romney, of course, is trying to pee on everybody's parade. Dangerous for democracy, Mitt Romney lashes out at Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz for pushing back against the most secure election ever, according to YouTube. Honk, honk, wink, wink. Yeah, I mean, look, Mitt Romney, I don't know what he is. A spoiler. He didn't get, Trump didn't give him any positions. So he went back to Utah to get elected in the one state where he could always get elected. He's Mitt Romney. He's the guy who stood up and said, corporations are people too, buddy. He is as tone deaf as they come, and part of the Washington elite, and probably will stay senator until he is old and gray. He's just going to be one of those guys. He is the new McCain, essentially. The Republican that doesn't really act like a Republican. And here he is complaining on the vaccine distribution. Incomprehensible and inexcusable. Yeah, his deal is he is the 50th guy. If Trump got in, he'd need him. He'd have to kiss his butt all day long to get him to vote. And if one of the guys in Georgia comes through and wins, the Republicans are still going to have to deal with him. But I think he just hates Trump. He just hates Trump. I think he feels disrespected by Trump. And in its defense, I don't know if Trump, purposely disrespected him. It seems like he gave him a cold shoulder. I don't know. I think Romney wanted to be like Secretary of State or something. I don't know if he was qualified, really. And the way Trump fired people off and on, I don't think Romney really wanted that gig. He might have said he did, but, he probably would have been okay as a VP. I mean, probably just as good as Pence. But he was probably a little too establishment for Trump. And who knows? I mean, he certainly blasted him here, about the rollout of the vaccines. It's like, dude, everybody complaining about the virus is just like assuming that, if it only had been done right, people would have been saved. What is done right? You're talking about a disease. It's like saying like, well, your earthquake response sucked. You don't know when an earthquake's going to happen usually. Not really. You might get a few hours warning, I guess. Maybe in certain rare circumstances, a few days, but it's a natural disaster. A virus is a natural disaster, and most of it's to blame on the Chinese because they could have stopped it, but they didn't. And they're laughing all the way to the bank, the Chinese. And I'm a little shocked that Romney doesn't see that, because as much as I don't think he's much of a Republican, I would think, he's not on the payroll of China, like some of these Democrats seem to be, but who knows? But here's the big news. Rumor, after weeks of silence, lawsuits, Pence says he welcomes January 6th Electoral College Challenge. Now, don't get too excited, but it's a good sign, at least. It seems like Pence is warming up to at least supporting the idea of the challenge. Doesn't mean he's going to, overturn the apple cart, but maybe. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. He could just say, I can't count these votes. There's too much of a problem here, and we need to investigate it, and I won't count the votes until you investigate it. If you do that, we got a shot at this. Maybe. It's a big, long shot, but the fact that Pence seems to be warming up, maybe the pressure is working on him. Maybe he always was going to, and the stuff we're hearing is just media nonsense. Maybe he changed his mind. I don't know, but, if you're writing to the VP, keep writing him. And if you're not, write him again. Write him anyway. And say, VP Pence, if you help Trump get elected, we'll love you forever and let you waltz into the White House in 2024. But if you hand it to Biden, you can pretty much guarantee that we'll never, ever, ever vote for you. Even if you're the candidate in 2024, who's going to be excited about voting for the guy who could have stood up to Biden but just said, oh, well, Biden's president, everyone. Guess China runs the country now. No one's going to be excited by that. And if anyone's seen the Hunter Biden laptop, I would think you'd have a different response. Now, I always said when Trump was accused of being a Russian asset, but they just handed the country to him anyway, that's not how you react if you genuinely believe someone is a Russian asset. You know, a person who's been corrupted by another country so badly that he's going to, you know, hand the country to Russia or whatever. You just wouldn't give him the country. You'd stop him. You'd do anything you could to stop him. And that's what these guys need to do for Biden. They need to do everything in their power to stop him from ascending to the presidency. Even if it means Trump doesn't get in, but someone else does, you know, Biden is too far gone. He's too corrupt. His entire campaign, in my view, you know, even though he's the most popular man who's ever run for president, honk honk wink wink, most secure election ever, you know, he clearly has ties to China. The Hunter Biden laptop, I mean, I don't know what more proof you need. I mean, go watch Rudy's videos on the subject. He'll tell you it straight up. And this is about China. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff we got to fight against. I mean, this is what the CCP does. You know, they just decide, well, time for you to die. This is from Substack, I believe. Yeah, Matt Palmer. And an article called What Happens When the CCP Decides That You Need to Die. The manner in which the state kills people has major implications for that state structure. And there's a content warning, extremely graphic, distressing images of people being shot in the head by the PRC security forces. That's the People's Republic of China. These are the communists, and this is what they do. And these are the people that Joe Biden has accepted money from. They're ruthless. They're absolutely ruthless. They do not care about anything in America. Nothing. If everyone here died, they'd be fine with that. They'd be fine with that. If they can make the beer virus only kill Americans, they'll make it that way. I guarantee you 100% they're researching that right now. You know, I guess it's possible, but it's probably a huge long shot, and they run the risk of killing everybody on the planet. But, you know, they are ruthless. They are absolutely ruthless and will do anything to win. Anything. We cannot let anyone who's been compromised them anywhere near the levers of power. So, if Pence knows this, maybe he's on board to stop it. Maybe. I don't know. This is the only good news I've gotten about Pence in a while, so I don't want to get too excited, but maybe something will happen on January 6th. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I mean, look, even if Nancy Pelosi ends up being president, I think it'll be better, because she's just wildly incompetent. And she's at least not losing her damn marbles. I mean, Biden is like off his nut. You know, and maybe you could even argue Kamala Harris might be marginally better simply because she's not off her nut either. But Joe Biden is 100%, in my view, compromised by China based on the evidence I've seen from the Hunter Biden laptop. You know, I totally believe that. So I don't think he should ascend to the presidency. Literally any other candidate in the DNC would have been more acceptable to me, because there's not that laptop about them. You know, there's no laptop about Kamala Harris or Nancy Pelosi or, you know, Pete Buttigieg or any of the others. But there is that laptop. There is that laptop for Hunter Biden. So, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens on Wednesday. It's coming, January 6th.